It's the Odd Drunk Podcast, a very strange podcast, the drunkest show in the world. It's Jackson and Colton talking out of their ass. We don't care as long as drinks are poured. Sometimes we have our friends here. We will talk about anything. We don't care as long as we have beer. And if you let that whiskey ring. The Odd Drunk Podcast.
Maybe I should press record.
Well, you press record now.
It has its distinct vanilla forward flavor.
They used to call me Vanilla Forward in high school. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Odd Drunk Podcast. That little inside joke, if you've been listening, you'll know.
Yes,
okay, that's all we need to say.
It's the smoothest intro we've ever had
in a while, and that's not a good thing.
I don't know. You know, is it more entertaining when we have really awkward intros?
Just like an awkward pause. No, you usually edit out the real weird ones, but
usually,
yeah, or you keep them in.
Sometimes I keep them in because they were
or just
funny.
Awkwardness. And anyways, so this is our 80th episode, actually.
Oh yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say about it. We're not gonna make a big deal out of it. Let's wait till we get to 100, if we can survive 2022, because it's been a crazy year so far. Won't get into it. Don't want to get political.
Yep.
I want to say things. I want to, but I won't. But what I do want to say is tonight we're going to be talking all about Batman.
Yeah.
And
I see you're wearing a Batman shirt.
I am
tonight.
for the occasion.
I am wearing a Batman shirt too.
Yeah, I'd like to see you explain this. It's black. It's got that part.
Yeah, but it's Africa.
Yeah, Toto's Africa.
Toto.
It's the internet.
Did you know that the singer for Toto is John Williams' son?
Really?
And John Williams is a composer, and so is Danny Elfman. And Danny Elfman did some Batman stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of other things. But he's most famous. I would argue that he's most famous. Well, he also did Spider-Man. But I would say he's even a little more famous for the iconic Batman 89 theme.
Yeah.
It was also used for an animated series. I mean, it's synonymous with Batman.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're talking Batman. We were going to do a Rob Bat review on the Batman. But Colton, he has stupid homework.
Yeah.
As do I. But besides that, I saw it. And so we're going to be doing a Batman movie ranking instead, which will also be fun.
Yeah, I should probably pull up the list of movies.
I've got them.
Yeah,
I've got my tier list here.
So I can keep track of them myself, though.
But
I haven't seen many of them in a while.
So tonight, it's going to be a shorter episode. We're going to try to keep them a little shorter for our own time's sake, and maybe for you. Maybe you get tired of listening to us past an hour. But or maybe not. Maybe you want to hear us just get progressively more drunk over the course of 4 hours and throw up on audio. But I doubt it. But anyways, so I couldn't find anything specific bat related. I mean, I could have got Bacardi because, that's got a bat on it. But why would I do that to myself?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go so far for the theme. But
no. We all know Batman's from New Jersey.
Yeah, Gotham.
He would definitely not. He would definitely be drinking Malibu.
Right.
Not. I don't know what.
But anyways, I've got.
I know New Jersey isn't just the Jersey Shore.
Both of the drinks I've got are very dark.
Oh yeah, this one's perfect.
Black beers, and this one. So this beer I have, it's a black IPA. Whoa! So it's a black IPA. It's noir, which means black in French, I think. And it's from Duclaw Brewing Co. And I think I've had some of their stuff before.
We've had Duclaw.
I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, I don't recall exactly, but we've had them.
But I've always passed this one by, and I'm like, this would be a good one for a particular thing. And I found a great thing for it. And it's from and they're out of Baltimore, Maryland. And Baltimore is a very gothic place. That's where Edgar Allan Poe's from.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was a very dark guy.
He's like I wouldn't say he's like the grandfather of like Gothic.
He's
stuff,
like the god.
He's
of
like
horror.
the uncle
of horror
of
specifically.
horror,
yeah,
of Gothic
the uncle
horror.
though.
Yeah.
That weird uncle from Baltimore that wrote poems.
Very
about
influential. Let's leave it at that.
dark poems about a guillotine slowly coming down on you or whatever. I know there's the one about like the torture death trap.
Yeah.
But fun stuff.
I actually like Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of my favorite poets, actually.
And then also I got something really special here. I've got a Boom Boo rum, and I've had their rum before on the show.
Mhm.
Love it. It's sweet, but it's nice. But I've got their XO like reserve. I believe that means 20 years. But I also doubt it because it was only $8 more than the original one. It doesn't really say.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I know you just had some.
Yeah, I'm sipping on a little bit right now, and I'll tell you, it's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
Yeah.
Because our only kind of complaint about the original one, it leans a little towards a liqueur, but this one
doesn't.
solves that problem.
Yeah, this tastes like
It's
rum.
got a bite to it, but it's still got those strong vanilla forward flavors.
This tastes like an aged rum.
And it's a all black bottle, but it's not. It's just a dark rum. It's not black
I appreciate
spice.
the piratey look of the bottle, too.
Oh yeah, it's very piratey.
I appreciate when rum
Commit to the
comes
pirate.
in like cool like piratey bottles. It's like how also I appreciate when like gin comes in very like apothecary looking bottles.
Yeah,
I just like cool bottles.
the bottle definitely is a selling point. Honestly, I see a cool
yeah.
bottle, I'm more interested.
That's
in
why
it.
I originally bought Plantation all those years ago.
Like
The bottle looked cool, and I was
yeah,
like,
with
okay.
like the netting or what
Yeah.
and Dan Aykroyd, he's got a bright idea with the Crystal Skull bottles.
Yeah.
But fuck vodka. Even though most of vodka we drink is not from, Anyways, I don't want to get into politics.
Good vodka is actually good.
Yeah.
And it's people, you hear people in America say that good vodka you shouldn't be able to taste it. That's not really true. Really good vodka tastes
That's what
good.
alcoholics say.
Yeah.
So they can hide it. But anyways.
I've got a beer
tell us.
here that is very not Batman-like. It's the True Blonde Ale from Scott Brewing.
It's more of a Robin beer.
It is more of a Robin.
Yeah,
beer.
I could see-
It does have like that comic book like design to the.
But
Label.
adult Robin from Batman and Robin.
This is like I think like Nightwing
Yeah.
might drink this.
But adult teenage Robin.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna get to that.
But it's the actor who plays Robin, but his character in NCIS LA would drink this beer.
Yeah, it's niche, but it does
relate.
relate.
And I also have Diplomatico rum
Yeah, and we've had that
here, which
multiple times.
Diplomatico
It's
Reserva,
great.
which is also not very Batman-y, because Batman is not very diplomatic at times.
No, he'll just punch you
yeah, so
or throw you off a building, depending on which version it
this
is.
definitely wasn't just what I had in my fridge.
But we're gonna be talking about different versions of Batman, specifically the different movies. But before we do that, just for my own good, I guess, my own sanity, I'm just gonna give a very brief, non-spoiler review of the Batman
All right.
with Robert Bat. Go see it.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good.
It's. I don't want to give away too much because I feel like just me saying anything, that's saying too much. But I know you're a reasonable person.
How about I tell you what I've heard and you tell me if that's accurate?
Okay, tell me what you've heard.
I've heard it's not very in line with what you'd expect from a superhero movie, but
No.
it's like it
And that's
goes
what
to it goes to the core of like
The
Batman
character.
as a detective.
Yes, this is a detective noir,
Yeah.
a 3-hour long epic movie, and I wasn't bored.
How was Colin Farrell as the Penguin?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like his prosthetics would not know that's Colin Farrell at all. But aside from that, his performance is good, and he's definitely comic booky Penguin, like are on the way to that.
Nice.
They're all what I really appreciate it's this grounded, dark kind of detective horror story.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Riddler's like Jigsaw, or like the Zodiac killer.
Yeah.
A sadistic, elusive, mysterious killer. Catwoman's great. She's the most comic book accurate Catwoman, even though she's like proto Catwoman.
Yeah.
Zoe Kravitz just nails it. But honestly, and listen to our Twilight commentary if you want to put yourself through that. But Robert Pattinson may be my favorite Batman.
Nice.
Not necessarily my favorite Bruce Wayne. I have some issues with Bruce Wayne, but I could see how it will evolve.
Yeah.
But as Batman, he is the closest to the animated series in the video games I've ever seen live action.
That
Like
makes me excited
it gave me that.
What I've generally heard is like another thing is that it's gritty and grounded,
But not
it
too
doesn't.
grounded.
But it doesn't feel like I've heard it doesn't feel like it's trying to exist in our world like the Christopher Nolan.
No,
Batman movies.
this is a distinct Gotham. Gotham is a character like the '89 Batman. It's not trying to be like realistic like Nolan, like hyper realistic. It's grounded, but it's still comic booky. But what I really appreciate about it, this is the first Batman movie we actually see him doing detective work, working with Jim Gordon, not just talking with on the rooftop and then fucking off, but actually going into the crime scene with the police, with Jim Gordon, analyzing shit, interrogating people, and he's Batman 95% of the time.
Yeah,
in this movie,
unlike the Christopher Nolan Batman, where we see him do detective work with quotes,
it's a computer,
but it's like he shoots some bullets into some cinder blocks in his Batcave and then analyzes them with a computer.
No, but this one he's in the field.
The one time I recall off the top of my head in the Christopher Nolan Batman movies is in Batman Begins. He does go to an apartment to investigate, but then within like 2 minutes of him being in there, he's lit on fire. And has to leave.
It never really. Well, this movie just really gives Batman as a character room to play, a lot of room to play.
Nice.
And I love how it's not set over the course of years or months. It's literally a week, and him just going from crime scene to crime scene, solving riddles after riddles. Like I just love how it continues that way. The continuity of it, cinematography is amazing, and the Batmobile scene.
Oh yeah,
one of my favorite Batmobile scenes of all time. Just the first person perspective we get on it. And it was practical. And I think you've seen it in the trailers where he's in the hallway getting shot by the machine guns, but they're just he's bulletproof. It's bulletproof armor. And if you're a billionaire going out fighting crime, you would make sure you have like the best bulletproof armor out there.
Yeah.
Like I get tired of the other Batman movies. Like he can only like take a shot once and then he's kind of done.
Yeah.
This one,
they try to show off.
This one, he just walks into the line of fire.
Christian Bale's Batman's being rich and using his
money. But it's still like,
but you're right. He would still like.
Yeah. But what I appreciate about that scene, all the lighting was done practically. So the muzzle flashes were real.
It's the same, I believe, cinematographer that did The Mandalorian.
He did Mandalorian. He did Rogue One. I forget his name. Maybe we should look him up.
He's very good at doing dramatic shots of people standing in gloomy weather looking into the distance.
Yeah, and this is like the whole movie. No, but I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for you to see it when you get time.
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
And
I have the little miniature Lego Batmobile from the movie. A little $5.
Yeah, I've got the minifigure scale one, and I've got the tumbler. I just need the classic one. We haven't gotten it back.
I have the classic.
I know
one.
That's a nice one.
I want the tumbler though.
Anyways, that's enough of that. Since you haven't seen the movie, I don't want to talk about it anymore. But see it. It's one of my favorite Batman. It might be my favorite Batman movie. I don't know, man. As far as Batman goes, because a lot of these are good, but not because of Batman.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to it. So anyways, we're going to go in chronological order here. And we're mostly going to include live action with a few exceptions.
Yeah.
Because DC's made like 100
I say what we do is we do live action
Lego Batman.
and we can have some honorable mentions that are not live action. If there's ones we want to mention. Because there's a couple that are really good.
I was just going to say we include Lego Batman and Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah.
Because those were theatrical releases.
True. Yeah, then let's include those.
So let's include
There's
those.
a couple other honorable mentions, though, that I would want to mention.
Well, yeah, you can bring up whatever you want to bring up. But anyways, we're going to get into it. So Batman 66, the original Batman movie. Adam West, Burt Ward. Joker with a mustache. I forget the actor's name, but he's in a lot of...
Cesar Romero.
Cesar Romero. He's the guy from Rocky. He's the Penguin of something Meredith.
Yeah.
That movie was one, if not my first experience with Batman. It might have been 89, or it might have been Batman Beyond the series, because the animated series was before my time, but Batman Beyond was like right when I was real little bit.
My earliest experience with Batman was the animated series, but that was reruns.
Well, duh, yeah, of course.
I didn't really watch a lot of Batman Beyond as a kid.
No, Batman Beyond, that was my thing. But Batman 66, though, I have fond I haven't seen it in a while. I need to see it again to really have a strong opinion. But
it's been a while.
I do have fond memories of it. I remember watching it on like Saturday mornings. Like it was just on.
It occupies this weird space where I can't say like it's the best Batman movie, but I don't have anything negative to say about it because it's just. Well, how can you say bad things about Adam West
you have
and that era of Batman? It's just fun, and like
you have basically two different types of Batman fans: the ones that just love anything Batman, okay, and then you have the ones, oh, it's got to be real and hardcore, and like Ben Affleck, he's got to punch Superman. You have those kind of fans.
Maybe it was the Justice League animated series where I was first like into Batman.
That was early too. Yeah,
I don't remember.
But Batman 66, I have fond memories of. If you just have fun with it, just let it be what it is, because it's not like unintentionally funny or campy. No, it's intentionally camp. It's camp.
Yeah. They were trying to be silly comic
Holy
book.
bat shark repellent Batman.
Yeah. And it's like
like you see Adam West punching a rubber shark.
Yeah, and it's like you can't like if anyone who comes over to my apartment and I have the Lego sets, there's two Lego sets that people spot. One of them's a really cool Harry Potter set, but the other one is the 1966
It's instantly recognizable
with the little Adam West figure.
And that's still one of my favorite Batmobiles.
Cuz like, you just love it.
No, yeah, it's not the accurate Batman, but it is like the kind of the cultural phenomenon of Batman.
Yeah, it was
like everyone
kind of just its own thing.
Yeah, I mean, but it's fun, it's colorful, it's goofy, and honestly, it is accurate to the comics of that time.
Yeah,
because of the comic code authority, Batman couldn't fight mobsters and whatever. He had to fight all these colorful, zany villains.
Yeah, the comic book industry did the same thing that the movie industry did, is they put in a code to regulate themselves before the government stepped in to regulate them.
Because original formula Batman, 1939, he was fighting the mafia and whatnot. Yeah. Like, and he had a gun.
Yeah.
People often forget about that. He had a gun. But he had to fight all these zany characters, but we've gotten some great stuff out of that era. Like Mr. Freeze, I just recently watched, before I saw the Batman, I watched Heart of Ice.
Oh, yeah.
That episode with Mr. Freeze,
really good
which
episode.
Reinvented the character, made him dark and real. Yeah. And it was just a great episode, and like goes into the soul of a man.
Tragic, though.
Yeah. And Matt Reeves, by the way, said he wants to give Mr. Freeze a try.
I would like that.
And with Gus from Breaking Bad, I forget his name. Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah. With him as Mr. Freeze, that's what I've heard kind of floating around.
He would be really good.
Or just bring Arnold back. And people are like,
Why not?
oh, how would they make Mr. Freeze grounded and real? It's like, for one, you could just go more comic booky with it, give him a freeze spray, or he could just be a guy with a bag of ice and he just hits you with it.
And a gun.
And like shoves you in a fridge. And a gun. Mostly gun. Mostly gun. But anyways, yeah,
I think we've talked about that before on the show. Our idea of a movie like The Joker, but it's
Mr. Freeze or just...
and he's just like a bald guy with a gun.
Yeah.
Who like can't
He's
pay,
like a fridge
he can't pay his
manufacturer.
Yeah,
he works at a fridge factory.
Yeah, or maybe
something.
maybe he can't pay his heat bill.
Oh, so he's
always
cold all
has
the
to
time.
dress like he's cold.
That's great. But honestly, with Batman 66, I can't put it any lower than B. Maybe things will wiggle around, but it's just a fun time.
Like, yeah, it's not what
it's
I
not my
think
vision of
of
Batman.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
It's not
I
my
mean,
vision of Batman.
Let's be real.
But I can't really
It's
say
fun.
any negative about it. Like,
It's fun.
it's just fun.
Yeah. So that's going to be a solid B tier. But Batman 89, however, that's the next. So Batman 89, Tim Burton's Batman, Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, classic.
Yeah.
That, I think, might have been my first exposure to Batman. Because I remember seeing that alongside the Christopher Reeve movies.
Yeah.
But
I'll admit, when I was a kid, though, before Batman Begins came out, I was a Superman fan.
makes sense.
I was a Superman kid.
Oh, I love the Christopher Reeve Supermans.
Those are great.
We could do a Superman ranking down the line. But with Batman 89, and obviously we weren't alive in this era. We don't know the whole zeitgeist behind it. But you go from...
Yeah, this was the brief period where we weren't alive in the 80s.
You go... So you go from Batman 66, where it's extremely campy, colorful, cartoony, and whatnot, goofy. But then you go to Batman 89, and it's dark, and it's real. Well, it was real for back then.
Yeah, it's like we don't think of it as that now,
but gothic and weird. This is like the iconic Gotham that Tim Burton creates. Like, he even said that Gotham's like a character of its own.
Yeah.
And, if the gothic architecture, and it's just this weird city that does not exist. And that's what Gotham should be. It needs to be this unique, comic booky, weird, greasy, wet, horrible
it's
place.
like it technically is in like New Jersey.
Or New York.
No, it's
ambiguous.
I think it's
not New Jersey.
I thought it was New Jersey.
I don't think so.
But
it better
it's
not be.
Twin Cities.
I'll hate it.
It's Twin Cities with Metropolis.
Well, in the Snyderverse, it is.
In most versions.
That's a new 52 thing.
In the movies, they just keep it very ambiguous.
Yeah, but yeah, Gotham's weird, and what I really appreciate about this movie, you get to see like all of Batman's tech, like. This is the first time you see the grapple gun.
Oh yeah,
in any Batman stuff,
and that's become
ubiquitous. Like, he has a grapple gun, and it makes sense. Like, how is he going to be throwing ropes around and swinging around that way? Like, what? And it's a good costume. Not my favorite. It improves in Batman Returns. Drastically.
It does, yeah.
It's still iconic, but it does look it's very handmade. It does not look like...
Yeah, and the, Michael Keaton,
and he wears Nikes.
The turtleneck.
Well, let's talk a bit about that.
Hair.
Let's talk about the Michael Keaton turtleneck. And
it's weird.
What I appreciate about it, though...
But I still like Michael Keaton.
What I like about Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne / Batman, you would never suspect that guy to be Batman. He walks around in jeans.
Yeah, here's an image from a comic from 1977. New Jersey, Gotham City. It's across the bay from Metropolis.
New Jersey. Are you serious?
It is in New Jersey.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It's pretty close to it.
A lot of our listeners are in New Jersey.
Well,
that's great.
I mean, if for all of y'all in New Jersey, you have that to claim. You can say, hey, home of Batman.
Even though that's never referenced in the movies.
It's never.
Ever.
It's kept really ambiguous
and I'm
in the movies. And even
Gotham's just like somewhere in the East Coast. You know what I mean?
and like some of the movies take inspiration from different cities. So like, The Dark Knight is based on Chicago.
It's filmed in Chicago.
Yeah,
just based on. Which is a problem, but we'll get to it. But 89, like, yeah, and I love the Batmobile. That's still probably my favorite Batmobile.
I would agree with that.
It's just so Batman. It screams Batman. I love the design. It's wacky without going too far, and they go too far in the sequels. If those are even canon in the same universe, kind of.
It's weird,
but Tim
because
Burton
also kind of the animated series takes place in that universe,
but it not really,
but like only kind of.
Just the music, and the design of the city, like it inspired the design of everything.
Yeah.
And then obviously Jack Nicholson as Joker steals the show. I mean,
he's great.
Both him and Keaton. I think him more so than Keaton reinvented Joker.
Yeah.
Than Keaton reinvented Batman.
Yeah, it was. Like, Batman, it wasn't much of a reinvention of Batman.
It was more the look.
Yeah.
The all blacks. That's the first time we get all black suit, and then the comics were inspired. And it uses the yellow bat symbol from the comics, which I admire. I love that. It's classic.
Yeah.
Even though it's a little weird in the 89 one, it has like extra stuff because Tim Burton.
Yeah. Sometimes I love Tim Burton, but sometimes he goes a little much.
Well, we're about to get to that, okay? But Jack Nicholson, I mean, we wouldn't have Heath Ledger Joker without Jack Nicholson or Joaquin Phoenix or any of them, even the ones that we don't want to talk about.
We wouldn't have Mark Hamill as the Joker.
That is
who
true.
Many think is the definitive Joker.
Honestly, I mean, and they brought him back to voice the Joker in the Arkham games, and they got oh God, I can't believe I forget his name. The Batman voice actor.
I too am forgetting.
Oh no.
This is bad. Everyone
it's
listening.
Tim something. I mean, he's got the iconic Batman voice. Kevin Conroy. God. I'm tired. I better drink more.
Kevin Costner.
I don't know how drinking more would help, but it's not a junk podcast. Yeah, Kevin Costner's Batman. I'd love to see that. But no, it's
now.
It's the perfect amount of Tim Burton. In this one of weird, and like it's fairly comic accurate how Joker falls into the vat of the Ace chemicals, gets the permanent smile and everything. Plot wise, it's fairly straightforward. Joker poisons a bunch of people with makeup and stuff and gives them the joke. But I love his performance and like when he shows up to the meeting and like does the joy buzzer and like but I do have some issues with it. Like Batman straight up kills people in this one. Like unapologetically.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about.
Like, yeah, Ben Affleck does, but so does Michael Keaton. He throws henchmen off a 400-foot church tower.
Yeah.
And blows up a whole facility full of goons with the Batmobile. Don't forget about it. He killed hundreds of men. Okay?
He's a murderer.
Yeah. Yeah. In most cases, Batman probably at least incidentally kills people.
Yeah.
Because he's just...
At least some other versions try to explain the Batmobile like it uses rubber bullets. Like, that's a bullshit excuse, but...
No, he just had bullets.
Or at least trying to explain
and
it.
Missiles and bombs.
Yeah.
But I love the stop-motion bit with the armor plating on the Batmobile when it goes into armor mode, and how he speaks into a piece of 80s technology and stops it, and he really trusts that. But good on him. And the Batcave, it's just like you could literally trip and fall into an endless chasm. It doesn't make any sense.
I'm excited.
But it is.
I mean, this is the version of
one of the best
Batman
Batcaves.
Like, they look like they're going to be revisiting in the Flashpoint movie.
Yeah, he's coming. Michael Keaton's coming back. Yeah, I mean that's official. That's not
everyone's excited.
And I've always wanted a Batman Beyond movie set in that universe in the future. Michael Keaton, old Bruce Wayne.
Amazing.
Which I've heard might maybe happen. I think a Batgirl movie might be set in that universe. Maybe.
I'd be okay with that.
DC's confusing me, but
They're doing whatever the fuck they want now.
Batman 89. I'm gonna give it. What would you say? B or A? I think Jack Nicholson.
I think that's an
he
A.
gives it some points.
That's an A tier one.
That Batmobile stuff is good.
Yeah.
It's the first time we really see the gadgets, like in use and not just like silly stuff that makes sense,
Yeah. I think that's an A tier.
Yeah, definitely A tier.
I would say.
But next we have a contentious one because I used to really like it. I don't like it as much in recent years. I still like it, but Batman Returns. And yes, it has.
Danny,
where is he?
He's in the closet.
Oh, scare you too much?
Yes.
Well,
I'm doing homework and he's just staring at me.
Speaking of Danny DeVito being scary, he's really gross and weird in this movie. Yeah. Gargling black liquid. He's a mutant. And Penguin was never.
It's a
weird mutant creature in the comics. Like he's just a mobster that has
a weird version of the Penguin.
A big nose.
Like Danny DeVito would be a good Penguin, a comic accurate one too.
Yeah, he would.
Like he would do it. He would be good.
But he does a good job of what he's getting. Hey, Danny, be a weird, deformed Penguin guy gargling shit the whole time.
Apparently, the monkey that brings the letter tried to bite his crotch.
But the padding on his suit, on his fat suit, saved him. And then they were like, okay, let's go again.
Reset.
Yeah. So yeah, that throws it off. And also, it's not really a Batman movie.
No.
It's a Penguin movie.
Yeah, I don't
know. Weird freak show, like Christmas, and also Christopher Walken's in it, and I forget his character.
Oh yeah.
And he's very Christopher Walken in it. Like, I'll give him that.
But I wouldn't if he wasn't.
There's some standout moments. For one, you have the same Batmobile. They don't mess with it. They leave it alone. Good. The Batsuit's drastically improved.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a refined version of the previous one. It doesn't look handmade. It looks like something a billionaire might be able to conjure. The bat symbol's the just regular yellow bat symbol. And the mask doesn't just peel off. Because remember in the 89, he just peels it off like the plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciate that, It's like an actual helmet situation.
I think
Catwoman.
It's the more iconic suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's classic. And then Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, I think she does a good job. It's a different depiction. Like she gets cat powers, sort of, kind of like the Halle Berry one, but we're not talking about that. But like she falls off the building, and then a bunch of cats bite and scratch her, and then she's back alive. Yeah, and it really plays into the 9 lives thing, because Catwoman's never had powers.
Yeah, I always find it really weird when they give Catwoman powers.
Take it. It's really atrocious in the Halle Berry one, which I've only seen once when I was a kid, and I didn't even like it back then. So
that's a bad movie.
It's
really bad.
It's horrendous. But I love her outfit in it. And as a especially in my teenage years, I was like, yeah, that's a nice Catwoman, leather suit and everything. And I like how it's stitched together. She's got the whip. She's got the scene where she whips the mannequins' heads off.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. But it's just a weird movie. It feels really long. There's not enough Batman in it. I don't know, man. A lot of weird political, mayoral, candidate stuff with the Penguin running for mayor.
Yeah.
And the fight with Batman and Penguin's nothing, because Penguin's not a threat at all to Batman. He's just this weird freak. I mean, to put it lightly.
Yeah. I do appreciate in some of the movies, and they
does he have the umbrella gun?
I don't remember.
I know he literally has penguins though.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that.
I did like that. I remember that.
But they're like suicide bombers.
Sometimes
they have bomb strap on them.
I appreciate, and they do this in the animated movies sometimes, where there's the villains and they openly recognize, like the villains on the screen will recognize. They're like, are you kidding? Like if I got into the same room as Batman, he would pummel me.
Right?
Someone's like, why don't you try fighting him? And they're like, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, have you seen what he does to the henchmen?
Yeah. So I don't know,
smart
man.
Batman villains don't try to fight Batman.
It's not necessarily one of the worst ones on this list, but it's not necessarily a good Batman movie.
I think it's a C tier.
Solid C.
Yeah.
Because
it's not the worst.
It's still got good aspects, but
it's still Michael Keaton.
What 66 has over it, it's a Batman movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, even though it's a version of Batman not everyone appreciates or enjoys, it's still a Batman movie.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate it. It's like just not enough Batman. Tim Burton should have just called it the Penguin, but not the comic book version, but a weird circus freak. And Batman's in it a little bit, but Catwoman's also in it a little bit. The movie. Apparently, there was this does give it some more points. There was a McDonald's value meal.
Oh, that is
Batman themed one during this time.
That is pretty cool. Yeah.
But yeah,
But obviously, it wasn't so cool that Rick and Morty would reference it and get everyone freaking out over it again, like they did with the Szechuan sauce.
No, not quite that cool.
Which I was always confused by when that happened.
That was such a weird.
It was very strange.
Yeah.
I never tried it. I never made.
Next, we have one that this is honestly, in my opinion, the most forgettable Batman movie for me.
Mm-hmm.
Batman Forever with Val Kilmer.
Yeah, I hardly remember anything about this other than this is where they introduce Robin, isn't it?
They introduce him, but he's not like in it that much.
Yeah, they just
like a bit. I haven't seen it for reasons.
The circus stuff with him, right?
No, and it's still kind of the same Gotham, the same Batman.
No, but I mean, like this is where like Robin.
No, it shows the circus stuff. Yeah, but it's kind of the same universe. It basically is.
This is like,
but it feels so disconnected.
It was like
we get the bat nipples.
Yeah, the introduction of that.
Yeah, that exists. We get Jim Carrey as Riddler, which made it seem impossible to do Riddler again in a movie. I'm glad they gave it another
Poison
go.
Ivy was in this, wasn't it?
No, it was Jim Carrey.
She was in the next one.
And Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face.
Okay, I'm remembering because this is the one
and he's
where
very the cartoony looking Two-Face.
End, they go to fight them, and Robin makes the throwaway line at the end, when they go in there, he's holy rusted metal, great, Batman.
That is good.
And then they're like, it's a rusted metal grate with a bunch of holes in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I appreciated that.
I do appreciate this one, but this one's it's campy and cheesy, but it doesn't feel like it quite wants to commit to it.
I don't like Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face.
Well, no, and he's a very, very silly version of.
It's because
and he's trying to be Joker.
That's why I don't like him, because he's not acting like Two-Face. He's acting like Joker, but with less props and actual jokes.
No, like literally half his face is like in a smile, and it's like purple.
Yeah,
and like
I don't mind,
realism away.
I don't mind Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
Jim Carrey's Riddler. My problem
I
with
don't love him, but
it's just Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
like he's not playing a character.
It's far from my favorite version of the Riddler.
He's just doing if the Riddler was Ace Ventura.
I think it's not super offensive though.
No, it is. He does have the comic look, at least, with the question mark green spandex and the hat and the domino mask. And Val Kilmer as Batman, I don't necessarily have anything bad to say about him.
Have you ever? So there was a.
I know I remember he talked about how he didn't get to do anything with it. Like
there's a TV show that
because he's a good actor. I mean, he was in Tombstone, one of my favorite westerns.
He actually is a good actor. There's a series on HBO with Warwick Davis, where it's kind of a mockumentary series. and there was a part in one episode where he goes to lunch with Val Kilmer.
Oh
and
yeah.
Val Kilmer's going around the restaurant with a piece of paper, holding it over the top half of his face, and going, or going up to people and being like, "Hey, guess who I am? I played Batman," and everyone's going, "George Clooney."
No,
Michael
you're right.
Keaton. And he's like, "No, it's me, Val Kilmer." And they're like,
What?
"Oh,
Yeah. No, and that might be worse than being the worst Batman movie, but being the most forgettable.
It is the most forgettable. I
Batman
don't know where to
movie.
place it because, like, I would say
It's not. I don't think it's the worst.
I would say this is another C tier, just because
I would put it at D though,
maybe D tier.
because Batman Returns is by no means forgettable,
That's true.
and it doesn't lean
Yeah.
towards the worst.
Maybe it's a
I would put it in D,
D
but
tier.
unless you
No,
have
I
reservation-
think that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, D. It's not the worst, but it's forgettable, and I don't remember it being good.
Yeah, it's
But
just
I don't really
it's been a long time
remember
since
it.
I've seen it.
So, and I don't think anyone wants to remember it.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
remember
an
there's
issue.
a scene where Two-Face and the Riddler play Battleship,
Oh, that's good.
and
That's
they, when they're trying to kill Batman when he's coming on the boat or the Bat boat, whatever it's called.
yeah. In the Batmobile, can't quite remember what it looked like. I think it had like a lot of neon.
Yeah. This is after Tim Burton left.
No, yeah.
He was no longer involved.
He was gonna do like a third movie with Michael Keaton, and he was gonna do Riddler with Robin Williams. That was the idea.
I don't know if he would have been any better as the Riddler.
So here's
Would've
the
been
Batman
different,
Forever
though, yeah.
Batmobile. It's
It's
too over the top, man. The giant bat symbols, and it's like stripped down and weird, and like got the glowing core. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, I don't like that one.
no, it's not a good one, but it does get worse. So Batman and Robin,
It's not forgettable.
it's definitely not forgettable, and that kind of helps it, but
not much though.
not much.
It's
And what's sad though, George Clooney could have been a good Batman.
I like George Clooney.
Same. Oh, brother, where art thou?
Yeah.
The Ocean's 11 reboot. What else?
Other movies.
Other movies.
He's in Fantastic Mr. Fox.
He is the voice of Mr. Fox.
Yes.
And other movies, but he could have been a good Bruce Wayne. He had the look, you know. And he can be a good actor, you know, if given the right script and everything. But he wasn't given the right script in this. Far from it, actually. And Robin, yeah, he's the NCIS guy. I forget his name.
Dusk Till Dawn.
But he's an adult man.
in that.
He's as big as Batman.
Yeah.
Like, Robin's supposed to be like a teenage kid. Which, yeah, I know there's some problematic things to say about that. A 13-year-old boy running around beating up mobsters with Batman, and it's mostly he's just a distraction so Batman could beat up the other guys while Robin just runs around and gets shot at.
Yeah.
But,
Batman just goes finds orphans.
But
and
that's just how it
turns
is.
them into a psychic.
And they don't commit to that, and that kind of bothers me that, you know, they're the same size. And then you have Batgirl, I forget who she's played as, not comic accurate at all. She's just got the domino mask. At least Robin has the right colors,
Yeah.
but his suit doesn't scream
It is.
Robin to me. It's just a red and
And I
green
feel
Batman
like
suit.
They had been ramping up in the previous movies, but this is the movie where they go all out on the everything Batman has in his tool belt has a bat symbol on it.
And it's Bat. He has a Bat credit
The
card.
bat
for
credit
crying out
card,
loud.
yeah.
And why does he need a credit card?
Doesn't he have ice skates
Yes, he has Bat ice
that come out
skates.
of his suit? Yeah.
Yeah, which is useful, I guess, for the ice rink or the Mr. Freeze layer.
But the thing is, they don't show him like Like what they do in some movies.
And they get that weird anti-Mr. Freeze suit, the silver-plated one.
Yeah.
It's just
But
awful.
It's like, one thing
and
I
the
always
nipples
like,
are still there.
one thing I like about like Batman is he's smart and he solves problems. So he encounters a problem like Mr. Freeze, he goes and makes a suit with ice skates on it. They don't show him solving the problem. It just show him. They just show him he had ice skates.
He already had that. Maybe he used it just to,
like
maim criminals. I don't know.
I suppose, yeah. If you're quick about like retracting them really quick,
Batman is a psychopath.
You could like kick someone with an ice skate.
Yeah, and slit their throat. And then you have Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy, which saddens me because she's been in Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill. I mean, masterpiece movies.
She's a good actress, yeah.
But then I guess she just wanted a paycheck because
she's not good.
You would not think she's a good actress, like whatsoever. And yeah, I know the writing, they can only do so much with the writing, but she doesn't even seem to care in it. Like,
she doesn't give a crap.
She's literally just reading the lines, and
it's very obvious it was
the enthusiasm.
It was a paycheck situation.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And she's just not a good Poison Ivy. Let's just get that straight. I guess she's comic accurate-ish, but
I like her outfit.
Yeah,
I like the design.
It's fine.
So I'm rooting around in a bag of
spandex.
Yeah.
But and then obviously,
like I said, I like her outfit. No, I'm joking.
No, I know you've always had a Uma Thurman crush, though.
Have I?
I think so.
You might be thinking of someone else. I mean, she's very pretty, but I've never.
Yeah,
had her
we got him to admit it. Yeah. No, but and then you have Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
I have nothing bad to say about Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
You know what? He had fun with it.
Yeah, he's the only one puns. In the movie who
time we put you on ice.
Like he was having a good time there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like the version of Mr. Freeze that they did, but I like Arnold
because
he was fun.
I mean, they get the he had the Freeze Nora stuff and everything, but it's not. He's still having fun with it.
Yeah.
I mean, there is one bit I remember where it's like Batman. He took down Mr. Freeze, and Mr. Freeze has his monologue, and yeah, it's corny, but it is one of the best bits of the movie where you get to finally get a little bit of this kind of deeper emotional look into him. But that only lasts a minute.
Yeah.
So, you don't get much of that. And yeah, it's all neon, colorful, crazy. It all looks like a set and not in a good way. The music's good in it, though. I mean, I'll give it that. It has a good score.
Oh, yeah.
But
I would say, the question is,
it does play into the campiness that,
is it
Batman started with.
That much worse than the Val Kilmer one? Obviously, it's worse in some ways, but the Val Kilmer one was so forgettable.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's definitely at least a D tier.
At least.
But I think that's a hard one to say.
My problem is it just makes Batman look like a fucking idiot and like a joke. It just really destroys that character.
And not in the same way that the Adam West made it a joke.
Well, Adam West,
he was supposed to make it a joke.
Yeah, but also it still had respect to it. I don't know, Adam West liked playing as Batman.
Yeah, they were all having fun.
I don't know if I can say the same thing about George Clooney, and I know he said in interviews in the past, that he regrets doing it.
Yeah, he won't go to Comic-Con or anything like that.
No, yeah,
specifically because of that.
And also Bane's in it.
Oh, I forgot.
And
about
he's
Bane.
horrible.
Yeah,
and he's just a dumb brute. He's not and not that I necessarily like the Dark Knight Rises Bane all too much.
But they show him being intelligent.
At least he's a
not
tactician.
stupid.
He's a tactician.
Yeah.
You know, he's not quite as smart as Batman, but smart enough to give him a run for his money, and also strong enough.
Yeah. That's the thing about Bane is that
The only good Bane...
he's so often portrayed as just being a big brute, and he's smart.
He's not like Riddler smart or Joker smart, but you know, he's up there.
He's not stupid though.
Yeah.
He's common
He's
sense.
literally a dumb brute in this, like the Hulk, even dumber than the Hulk. But the only good thing about him is he's comic accurate in this movie. The look of it.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got that look, you know, the mask and the venom. You know, he's the super strength. But I don't know, man.
Is this an FDR?
Is it worse to be forgotten or worse to just be absolutely just railed on how bad it is? That's kind of the question we're asking here. I'm going to stick it at F. But if we feel like there's something worse or maybe, you know, everything needs to be moved up.
We might adjust it a little
We'll
bit.
adjust it, but we need to keep going because we're almost at an hour and we got a lot more. So next, you have the realest Batman movie out there. And honestly, and I was a kid, so I wasn't like thinking this. I was just excited to see another Batman movie. But I know a lot of people were hesitant, like another Batman movie after Batman and Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you serious? Like, how are you going to do this?
Batman and Robin came out in 97.
Yeah, 90. Yeah, and this 2005.
Yeah.
Batman Begins, which until recently was maybe my favorite Batman movie.
I love it. It's really good.
This is the first time you see the true origins, not just like the flashback of his parents getting killed, but you see that, but you see how he trains with Liam Neeson in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
And Liam Neeson's great in it. And
Liam Neeson, yeah. I love Liam
he's
Neeson.
Ra's al Ghul. Or Ra's al Ghul. However, I think they pronounce it that way in this, but I always thought it was Raz.
Yeah, I don't know how it's
either way, whatever.
supposed to be.
But I love that. And Christian Bale, he's definitely my favorite Bruce Wayne. I can say that.
Oh, yeah.
For me.
He's great.
You've been Affleck
People,
fans.
I mean, when it came out, though, people were worried, like, well, you're casting this Welsh guy.
You're casting a Welsh guy. You got a British director. Christopher Nolan was fairly unknown at this point. He only has done a couple projects.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what put him on the map, and everyone was like, ooh, we like these Christopher Nolan movies.
It's what convinced the studio to give him the money for Inception.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, and Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Really, the Dark Knight. But yeah, I mean, him doing Batman's allowed him to do his original projects, which is cool.
I like the Scarecrow in this.
Scarecrow's good.
That's a good version of the Scarecrow.
And this one, yeah, it plays into the, hyper realistic stuff, but not as much as the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
This one still has comic booky stuff. Scarecrow still got the fear gas.
Mm-hmm.
You have the League of Shadows stuff, and it's grounded, but it's still having fun with it and not trying to explain everything.
And they actually make an effort to make it so he doesn't kill people.
No, yeah.
They actually
I think this is the first time
that.
he actually says that he doesn't kill. He won't kill in a movie. Adam West also killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Let's not forget about that. Literally blew guys up and threw them into shark pits and whatever.
Yeah.
But no, and also, yeah, the voice, of his Batman. A lot of people make fun of it. But I appreciate that Christian Bale went for something different. And in this one, it works for me. But it does get a little over the top in the next couple.
Yeah, and it's become really attached to the character, too.
But I don't really mind it too much. I mean, I don't know. It's just how Christian Bale wanted to do it, and he at least commits to it.
Oh yeah,
he doesn't half-ass it, So I appreciate that. And the suit, I think, might be better in Dark Knight's suit. At least the look of it, maybe not the practicality, I guess, but
it's my favorite suit. It
makes him look bigger. And it's the all black look. The cowl kind of reminds me of the Returns cowl, the thick neck and everything. He can't turn his head. And they actually talk about that in the movies. And I love Michael Caine. And I'm not talking about the drug. Actor, British actor.
He's my favorite Alfred.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any problems with any of the Alfreds.
No, but he's
the standout.
Favorite, though, yeah.
Even still, I would say he's a standout. Andy Serkis is good though in the new one.
Nice.
But yeah, I love their relationship and how it really gets into that. And the Tumbler, while it's not my favorite Batmobile, it is cool. It's pretty rad.
I had the action figure sized toy.
Yeah.
Of the Tumbler when I was
a kid. Yeah?
It was so cool.
No, and it's cool how it's explained in universe, how it's like a military prototype used to jump bridges or whatever.
Yeah.
And, explains how he can jump rooftops with it, and you get a cool Batmobile sequence with that. Scarecrow stuff was good. The reveal that the League of Shadows were still alive and Ra's al Ghul was still alive, and, like, Scarecrow was just a pawn.
I like that they explore...
The League of... his...
Well, they explore, which I don't think they did much in the other movies before this, that Batman is, like... Batman and Bruce Wayne is the...
They're two distinct characters.
Is really more the alter ego.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne's the alter ego. Yeah, they explore that, and his whole, like, douchebag playboy persona is all a mask.
Yeah.
Because the real Bruce Wayne is when he's Batman. But, it does have a problem with a lot of other Batman movies where he suits up as Batman to do fights, and then that's about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And which is what I appreciate about the new Batman movie.
Stuff, yeah.
But in the fear gas stuff, like when he's got Scarecrow and like Scarecrow sees him and he's like this demonic bat creature, like that's fun. That's good stuff. And also Jim Gordon. This is the first like notable Jim Gordon with Harry Potter.
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. Yeah. God, I'm losing names right now.
It kind of shocks me that Jim Gordon had never been really a big character in the live-action movies before this.
He was kind of a crook in the 89 one, I think.
Yeah.
I think he, like, slipped money into a sandwich and gave it to the Joker. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And I love how they did that. He slipped the money in the sandwich. That still gives me the giggles. But, yeah, Batman Begins, it's the realest Batman, but it's still a Batman movie. Like, it really goes into his character. Christian Bale does a great job doing both Bruce Wayne and Batman. Mm-hmm. Not my favorite Batman, though.
Yeah.
But as the totality of the character, I still think he's got it right now. But honestly, Batman Begins, for me, as a Batman movie, that's a S tier. For me.
Yeah. I was going to say A tier just because there's a couple that I... like more.
There's the next one.
There's the next one.
I'll put it right next to 89. I think. Would you put it above or below 89? We're not too worried about it.
Above, probably.
Slightly.
Yeah, slightly.
But they are. Yeah, they both have equal amounts of good in them. But next, you have The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And while I don't think this is the best Batman movie, like as his character, it is one of the best movies on this list. I mean, it's an amazing movie aside from the fact it's a Batman movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I've talked about it before, and if I get the chance, I'm going to write an essay on this, on how it's one of the best post 9/11 criticisms, like movies. Mm-hmm. About the war on terror, like Joker represents terrorists and Batman's the government, so on and so forth. Yeah. Like, I love all that stuff. And Heath Ledger, I mean, his last performance ever, he didn't waste it. I mean...
Iconic.
Iconic. And I remember people were hating on Heath Ledger. Oh, he's been in teen rom-coms and stuff, like A Knight's Tale.
The guy from A Knight's Tale.
And the guy from... however many ways I hate you or whatever, or love you, or I can't remember, but he's in those team. He was in The Patriot, but he was also like a teen hot throb in that. But man, yeah, he just kills it in The Dark Knight. I mean, he does his Joker But, you know, it takes a lot of inspiration from Jack Nicholson, a lot of his mannerisms, and even he directly quotes Jack Nicholson when he's like, all the familiar places and stuff like that. But it's playing homage. It's not copying. I mean, he's obviously a way different Joker. You know, he's got the scars, and you never know his origin, which I really appreciate.
I like that about it, yeah.
And, you know, I love how it's just the paint and the green hair dye, and they're sticking to the realism. But, like, when they capture him, they're like, oh, all his clothes are custom made, and, like, we don't know anything about his identity. So it forces Batman to refer to him as Joker. Because usually if Batman can, he'll refer to you as your real name.
Yeah.
At least in these more grounded versions.
It doesn't give you the honor of
recognizing
your
he has to call him
nickname.
He has to call him even though he expects everyone to call him Batman. But he has to call him Joker because that's all they know is just Joker. Yeah. And yeah, every scene he's in, he steals the show. And he's the one that really makes this movie. But, you know, there's some other good parts. Gary Oldman's great again. Christian Bale doesn't get as much playtime. Yeah. But, you know, he's good in it, and that interrogation scene with him and the Joker, amazing. One of the most iconic scenes, and, like, apparently Heath Ledger, he told him, he said, hit me as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Like, he actually hit him there.
One thing I like about...
and still managed to do the laughing
about this
bit.
movie, it's like, so it... You know, you mentioned you don't get Batman a lot of time to be a detective, but this movie, I think, does the best job out of that trilogy of showing Batman. The movie is he's chasing down this guy. He's trying to figure out this mystery. And I like, one thing I also like is they show some scenes of him kind of doing detective work as Bruce Wayne in the middle of the day.
Yeah, he'll go off on a motorcycle and do some bits, you know, or like when he lets the car crash into him to protect the guy. And it is a long movie, and there is parts of it that does feel long, but it's not too much of a problem. Yeah. Because as soon as Joker's back on screen, you're like, all right, I'm into it. And then whatever the actor's name, he was in I, Frankenstein, I think. But Two-Face.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good Two-Face, and he's realistic.
It's a good version of Two-Face.
Now,
he's not as comic booky. That's a character I would like to have been a little bit more comic booky. But
it's the real Christopher
in the
Nolan
context of this movie.
And he's still pretty comic booky though. I mean, he's got half his face burnt. He flips the coin, so they keep that. And he's a DA. But obviously, let's be real, that man would not be alive for long.
Oh, yeah.
Infections as soon as he steps out of the hospital. Which maybe it's another reason why he went so crazy and just started killing a lot of people, because he knew he was going to die soon. So it's like, fuck it, let's just kill all these people that wrong me. But let's let the coin decide. It's got to be fair. But he would not be able to speak in real life. Okay, so like the realism stuff does get a little lost there. But it's still fun, and I like that even though Batman catches the Joker, Joker still wins.
Oh, yeah.
He turned Gotham's White Knight into Two-Face, into a killer.
He proved his point.
He proved his point. And the fairy scene's good, and I love the whole speech. He was like, you think I'm going to risk the battle for the soul of Gotham with a fist fight with you?
Yeah.
Like, and then Batman, being because it's the Dark Knight, takes the blame for Two-Face, says, I killed those people.
He does what he asked.
I need to be the hero they deserve, not the one they need, or whatever.
The hero they need, not the one
not
they
need, not deserve. Yeah. But that's so Batman. He would do that.
Yeah.
At least the way I look at Batman from the comics, he doesn't care about what people think of him.
Yeah.
We were good.
I know.
But yeah, The Dark Knight, S tier all the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't need to say much more about it. Everyone's seen this movie.
Love that movie.
And if you somehow haven't seen this movie, just stop and watch it, okay? It's amazing.
Go watch it.
So next, where is it? The Dark Knight Rises. We talked a little bit about this Bane earlier, but I mean, it's kind of sad that, you have Batman Begins and Dark Knight. two amazing movies. But then Dark Knight Rises takes it down.
Yeah.
It takes it down from its, grace. There's a lot of stuff that just does not make sense in this movie. A lot of stuff.
It
so
felt very shoehorned.
I mean, Tom Hardy as this version of Bane did good. Like the physicality of it. Now, yeah, the voice changer thing, his mask. I was born in the darkness. That kind of thing. Take that with what you will. You grow into it. I grew into it a little bit. I don't know. It's a little silly. But they both have silly voices, so it works out that way.
That's true.
They're two adult men that beat people up with silly voices. So, they're more... And I like how Bane is like anti-Batman in this. He's just as smart, stronger, younger, bloodthirsty. And Batman, he's been retired for 8 years, out of his prime. He has a bad knee. He shouldn't be doing this. Alfred is like, what the fuck are you doing? You should not be doing this. Bane's going to murder you. It's like, even in your prime, you would have trouble with this guy. And that really humbles him. And one of my favorite scenes in the whole trilogy, though, is when Alfred says his goodbye to Bruce Wayne. They have this emotional, heartfelt, just one-on-one dialogue.
Yeah.
And Alfred's basically like, I've raised you since you were a child, and I'm not going to see you die. And then Bruce Wayne's heartbroken because Alfred doesn't believe in him anymore, that he can be Batman anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't want him to be Batman anymore because, it is pretty dumb. And that humbles him. And then he doesn't have Alfred. He goes to try to fight Bane. He makes friends with Catwoman. And Anne Hathaway, she's a pretty good Catwoman for the realistic version of... but it's just a long movie, and even though it's not the longest one, actually the newest one is the longest, but it doesn't feel as long. But The Dark Knight Rises feels very long.
Yeah.
And you have John Blake, what's his name? He was in Inception.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, yeah. You have him, and he's like named Robin. He's not Robin.
They imply that he's like the closest we're gonna get to Robin.
I mean, I do like the bit where he takes up the mantle in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Will he be it would be funny if Bruce Wayne didn't leave him a cool bat suit or whatever, but he left him like the Burt Ward Robin costume.
Yeah.
It's like, this is part of the agreement. You have to wear this or I will come for you. Or like, I will take all your funding or whatever. Or I will blow the Batcave up if you don't wear this.
Yeah. You don't get to be Batman. You have to be Robin.
Yeah, you have to be Robin. I thought about this Robin thing for a bit. Realized Alfred told me it was a stupid idea. But like now, it's a good time. Yeah. I'm retired. Who cares? But and then, the whole nuclear bomb thing where he goes off and flies the crop to shore, and then it's the autopilot. But it's like, when did he jump out? We never see him jump out. How did he
I still don't quite
How did he survive the radiation? How would Gotham survive the radiation?
I still don't get quite why he needed to fake his death too. Like,
I guess he just wanted to be done with it. I don't know. But that seems not as Batman to me.
You got to do that to Alfred, dude.
I mean, I do like that they finally honor him as a hero. They realize that he didn't kill his people. Two-Face did. Harvey Dent did. And they erect the statue. And also I do, even though it's sad to see, but like the first fight with him and Bane, it's not a fight. It's Bane playing with him, with his prey and just pummeling him. And it's brutal. Like, he punches his mask in, snaps his back, but then he goes into the prison, like, way in the Middle East or whatever, and, like, a hole in the ground. And then this, like, prison doctor fists his back by punching it, and then he does a bunch of push-ups.
Yeah, then he just, like,
he does a bunch of push-ups, and then he climbs up, and...
He just does, like, push-ups until his back is better.
Basically. Yeah, because that's how it works. And then But also, he's bankrupt. He has no money, and he gets out of the hole. He gets out of prison, but somehow he's back in Gotham, no problem. And he's like, "Don't worry about it." And then, and obviously, Heath Ledger died, so Joker's never mentioned. I think if he didn't die, the third movie would have been better.
Mm-hmm.
It is cool seeing.
And then he leads an army of cops against the.
He leads an army of cops that were
against-
trapped in a hole for in the sewers for months, but they look fine. But, the final fights, and this one was filmed in Pittsburgh. Oh, also something about The Dark Knight I forgot to mention. The truck flipping scene with the bat pod, that was real. They really flipped that truck.
Yeah.
And, they still do all practical stuff in The Dark Knight Rises. I don't know about the plane heist or whatever at the beginning. I don't see how that would be done practically, but Christopher Nolan is nuts, so he probably would have done it.
Yeah, he filmed Dunkirk practically.
Yeah,
right?
and he filmed Tenet practically, and that's like a weird time travel thing that I haven't seen because I heard it's
like an Inception where they do the hallway.
Oh yeah, they flipped the hallway.
They built a
the
hallway
studio,
that will spin.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But I mean, there's good moments, and the final fight with him and Bane when he knocks the gas out, and then he finally beats Bane. That's cool. And you see Scarecrow; he's still in all these movies, and he's like the judge, sending guys to die, death or exile, and then exile is just death by exile. And where he burns the bat symbol on the building. I mean, there's cool moments. It's still a really good Batman movie, in my opinion, but it's so below standard compared to the first two Christopher Nolan ones. It's not as tightly written. It just feels all over the place. I think
also, I don't remember if they explained this,
but I still enjoy it. I still get into it when I watch it, but I'm like, you gotta.
I don't remember if they explained this because it's been a while since we've seen it, but where the fuck is the military?
Oh, the whole reasoning is Bane threatens to just nuke the whole city if there's any outside intervention.
Oh, right.
And then the president makes like an announcement saying like, we're with you, Gotham, but we're not going to. But they end up sending like operatives, and then Bane has them killed. Yeah. But, a lot of plot holes and like how his back gets better and how he gets back to Gotham, no problem, even though he has no money and all this stuff. And also I forgot to mention Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox. He's great in all of them. I
appreciate that after the first movie though, the Scarecrow is just lurking around. He shows up a few times.
Yeah, he's just kind of a.
He's in that first scene in The Dark Knight where there's the
drug deal with the fear gas or whatever,
where he's like, "That's not Batman."
Yeah. Oh, the hockey pad guys. I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Where's Rachel?
Yeah. And also I do love and I'm talking about The Dark Knight again, but I love the bit where he catches the guy in Hong Kong. Does the glide off the skyscraper. Like, that's awesome. I love seeing Batman glide. And when he captures them and does, like, the trick with the plane where he, like, shoots up the thing and, like, gets hooked.
Mm-hmm.
But that's The Dark Knight. We already talked about it. But Dark Knight Rises, I think B or C.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Leaning towards B because it still has good performances. It's just the plot isn't tight. And, it's still got Gary Oldman. It's still got Morgan Freeman.
We can put it in B, I guess.
But below 66, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's just, much of it doesn't make sense, but it's trying to be real. 66, none of it makes sense, but it's not trying to be real.
Yeah.
So, there you go. So next in chronological order, I think, Lego Batman movie came after. So we have Batman v Superman, which I only include in this because it is more of a Batman movie than a Superman movie.
It really is, yeah.
And the Ben Affleck fans, I don't want to get the hate from not including it. Even though he didn't get his own solo Batman movie, which is a shame. I think it would have. I would have
liked to see it,
which
even if I didn't have any expectations from it.
Yeah, but Batman v Superman. Let's just talk about the Batman aspects. Batmobile is pretty cool. It's a tank, but it's cool.
I like that they're attempting to do a slightly older Batman.
It's an older Batman. And Ben Affleck has the look,
He does, yeah.
especially for that version of Batman.
I actually like the suit.
Oh, it's the most comic accurate suit we've gotten.
It's a cool suit
until recently.
If you were just to watch one scene from it, you'd be like, "That's
the warehouse scene.
That's a cool Batman. That's a cool scene."
The warehouse scene's good, and I do like how I don't like his reasoning, but I like how he figures out how to beat Superman with kryptonite and everything. And he's got the big battle suit from the Dark Knight Returns comic.
Yeah. I think though, they try to
the look of it is there.
Yeah, but they try to set up stuff like for his character, like, this is a Batman. It takes place after the Joker killed,
Robin.
Yeah,
Jason Todd version, I think.
Yes, because Dick Grayson was Nightwing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is in the universe where Joker has already killed Jason Todd, and that's like a big part of like why he doesn't like trust Superman and why he's so angry all the time. But they don't explain that. They just have a couple references to it.
Right. But I do like the intro scene where it's Bruce Wayne in Metropolis, like on a business meeting in the middle of the General Zod Superman fight.
Yeah.
Which Man of Steel, by the way, I think is a pretty good Superman
That's
movie.
a fun movie. I like that.
But it's during that fight and he sees the destruction, and that's what inspires this whole, plan and vengeance towards Superman. But I like he's Bruce Wayne, but he's saving his employee. He's driving around in his Jeep or whatever.
Yeah. I actually, again, I actually like Ben Affleck.
Here's something I don't like: as he gets the physicality. The fight scenes are good, even if they're not practical and they're mostly CGI.
He's not the smartest guy, though.
He's not a smart Batman or a reasonable Batman whatsoever, in my opinion. Because and I know they're trying to do like the whole criticism on like Bush era politics and terrorism. Like if there's a 1% chance that they're gonna be bad, then we got to get them. We got to fight terror. And he does that whole speech with Alfred, and Alfred's pretty good.
Jeremy Irons,
yeah, he's a good enough Alfred. I have no problems with his Alfred, but just his whole reasoning to fight Superman is just like he's too powerful to exist.
Yeah, it's just like no other version of Batman would have.
He would at least tried to talk to him.
Yeah.
And then, but the fight is pretty good, and I like how it gets like gritty in the bathroom. He hits the sink on his head, on Superman's head. He does cool Batman stuff with the kryptonite gas. But
Martha,
the problem with that movie, as the title implies, it's half a Batman movie, half a Superman movie, but it's not really either. It's just a bad movie.
It's just like a weird
with some good parts
to the
in
Justice League movie, but not a good setup. Really.
Now I will defend it a bit. The extended edition does work better plot wise, and it explains a lot more of Batman's motives. You get more Superman in it.
Yeah,
but it has to be like 4 hours long.
Yeah, the Justice League.
No, I'm talking about the Batman v Superman extended cut.
I never saw the extended cut of that.
No, that is the version to watch.
Huh. Yeah,
it's funny how the best versions of Zack Snyder's Superman stuff.
4-hour movie.
Yeah, But honestly,
I mean,
as a Batman movie,
it's not very good as a Batman movie.
Or as his depiction of Batman, he does get the physicality. He does get the look. I was really excited for it when it came out. I was like, oh, that's the most comic accurate Batman.
I mean,
like in the trailers.
I think I would put it in D tier.
You'd put it with Batman Forever? I would put it above.
Above Batman Forever, but still in D tier, because the only good thing I really have to say about it is the design of Batman, and Ben Affleck is okay.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, in the Justice League Zack Snyder movie, in the Snyder cut at least, one thing I like about that, and I don't think we should count this because it's not a
Justice
Batman
League
movie,
is not even closely a Batman movie.
But, well, that's exactly what I like about it. In the Justice League, one of the problems that like the animated movies that try to do Justice League have is they make Batman way bigger of a deal than he is in the Justice League.
Right.
And I appreciate...
In the Justice League.
Yeah, I appreciate...
He's not even important at all.
Yeah. Well, but I appreciate in the Zack Snyder, he's like
And Zack Snyder, he actually does things, and he's the
plays
leader.
his role and as a leader.
But he also gets good fights with the.
Well, what I like about it is that he plays his role as a leader, but the other people do most of the heavy lifting in the fighting.
Yeah.
Because he's only Batman. In the Justice League, Batman is not. I mean, he's important because he has the money and he is a leader.
Yeah, he's the money.
But
what's your power? I'm rich.
Yeah, but in like Justice League level threats, the role he plays is the one of a leader,
and funder, strategist.
Yeah, and that type of stuff. He doesn't do as much actual. I mean, he still.
They
fights,
did a good job with it in Batman v Superman, but the way I've always looked at it my whole life, and the comics and all the animated movies and whatever, the Justice League animated series, Batman's supposed to be so good at what he does, at martial arts, being the world's greatest detective, so on and so forth, his technology, you know, he's supposed to be able to stand up with superpowered people.
Yeah.
You don't see that in Justice League. You see it more in the Zack Snyder cut.
Yeah.
But like in the original one?
No, but still, my point is, though, that you often see that when writers they did this well in the Justice League animated series. So when they made the animated series for Justice League, they had to keep reminding themselves, because they're all big Batman fans, that it's a Justice League series, not a Batman series. But some of the animated movie series that they've done, it's clear that they did not remind themselves that it's not a Batman series.
Because Batman's Warner Brothers, bread and potatoes, you know. Like,
no, but no, you're right though. Batman. The point is that he's so good at everything that he can.
Yeah,
I mean, my girlfriend still will argue that Green Arrow could beat Batman in a fight, and
no,
I don't even know where to start. With explaining to
her
like
saying Hawkeye could beat Captain America.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know where to start when saying like no.
Just leave it. Just leave it because.
Anyway,
I mean, you could pull the whole because he's Batman argument, which everyone does on the internet. But I don't think she appreciate that. The Lego Batman movie. Oh, and I forgot to include Batman Mask of Phantasm. Yeah, it's like the best of the animated series.
Yeah,
it's really good. I would put it around A.
Yeah,
maybe S.
Maybe S too. Yeah, it's really good.
But you know, I would say A because it's still, and not taken away from animated series, but you know, it's way easier to do a good thing animated than live action.
Yeah,
you have a lot more wiggle room.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so I'll put it solid A tier. And now we have Lego Batman. Let's just breeze through this. Yeah, it's a fun.
It's a great Batman.
It's got
movie.
the same animation as the Lego movie. I love that animation where it looks like stop motion, and some of it is, I think, mostly CGI.
None of it was
in this one or another one.
In both of them.
Well, it really looks like it.
Yeah. No, I was shocked. None of the Lego movies are actually stop motion.
Well, they did a good job, like,
CGI.
replicating that. Like, the animation of it and, like, the textures. Like, you see the scratches on the plastic, and it looks like real plastic. Toys.
Really well done.
Looks like toys. Honestly, I would give it a B. A solid B. Right there with 66.
I really like it.
Yeah. Will Arnett's
also just a Lego Batman movie.
It is, like... and you don't get really that much Bruce Wayne action. But honestly, as a Batman fan... Totally loved it,
and
they played into the memes, you know, and it's a fun ride. It's true to the Batman character,
and one thing that also it kind of I think is really funny is that so Voldemort is a character in it.
No, because they do like crossover multiverse stuff.
Ralph Fiennes is in it,
but he's not Voldemort.
He plays Alfred.
Yeah,
Eddie Izzard plays Voldemort, and I was like.
Why?
Why didn't you get Ralph Fiennes to play Voldemort in it?
I guess they wanted
you
more
already were paying
a
him.
Silly Voldemort. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you had Zach Galifianakis as Joker, and like Batman's like, oh, I don't like you or whatever. And there's
it's like a conflict. It's like a breakup, like a love
it's
story.
A breakup story. So after that, I'm not going to include Justice League, none of the other animated movies because there's 100 of them. Then you have The Batman with Robert Pattinson. You haven't seen it, so it'd be unfair.
Yeah, but I'm curious to
personally,
know what you think.
I put it right up there with The Dark Knight. Like this movie isn't just another superhero movie. It's cinema, okay? Let's get real, okay? Now you might watch it and hate it, which I highly doubt because we have similar taste. And we know what good movies are, I think. But it's right up there with The Dark Knight, but as far as a Batman movie goes, I put it above The Dark Knight because The Dark Knight is good because of Heath Ledger as the Joker. That's what really puts it in that upper echelon. If he wasn't in it, it would be a solid A. Mm-hmm. He's the one that gives it those extra points.
Heath Ledger, I mean,
his version
of the Joker is like considered one of the best acting performances of that decade.
Yeah. And he died. And there's misconceptions about his OD. He had a lot of back problems. Mm-hmm. And, he mixed it with alcohol, but he was not trying to, commit suicide. But anyways, the Batman, I mean, I mentioned a little bit, but I forgot to mention the Riddler as a villain is really great. He's sadistic and weird, and he's like a nerd. Because the Riddler's a nerd.
Yeah. He's a big fucking nerd.
Batman beats him up like a bully beating up a nerd. He's like, fuck you, nerd. But he's like the sadistic, like, he feels like his voice hasn't been listened to and all this stuff. I won't give any spoilers, but his Riddler is as good of a villain as Heath Ledger's Joker. I would go that far.
Damn.
Maybe not quite as, but it's right up there, like the same echelon, But, and Colin Farrell's Penguin. And then Robert Pattinson's Batman. He's the truest Batman I've seen.
Nice.
I would not be saying that. Like, here's an example. Batman v Superman, for instance. I thought Ben Affleck was going to be the truest Batman. I saw that movie and I was like, fuck, that wasn't a good Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, there's good parts about it. The physicality, we mentioned it, the physicality, the fighting, the look. But Batman is supposed to be the world's greatest detective, right?
It's his biggest,
that's one of his biggest
strongest
things.
trait.
Yeah. And he's supposed to be
lots of money.
And Batman's best ability, besides his money, and besides, being able to just beat people up, he's supposed to be smart. Like, genius. Now, not necessarily genius, but I mean, because the comics, they go really crazy with it, where like he has like major and everything. It's like, how did he have time for that? I know he has money, but seriously, no wonder why he wants to beat people up. but he's supposed to be a detective and like figure shit out without technology. Now, there is cool technology bits in this movie. Like, it still does that, but it's not. He doesn't rely on it.
Yeah.
And, he's in the crime scene working with Jim. And Jeffrey Wright, by the way, I forgot to mention. Amazing Jim Gordon. As good as Gary Oldman's.
Nice.
I wouldn't say he's better. They're both equal.
Yeah.
But for me, it's an S tier. I hesitate even putting it on there since you haven't seen it.
Yeah. But I wanted to know what you thought, or where you thought it would go.
S tier. I mean, right there at Dark Knight.
Nice.
And as far as the Batman movie goes, he's a better I've seen people. I have a friend that he's way older than me. He's like in his 50s. But a friend on Facebook. He's a cool dude. He's a huge Batman fan, and he's even thinking that Robert Pattinson's the best Batman. Now, not the best Bruce Wayne, because he's barely Bruce Wayne in this movie. You don't get to really see much of that. And he doesn't turn off Batman mode. Yeah. Like, he's always in that mindset. He doesn't
get to see him be the billionaire.
No, he doesn't put on that facade. And I will spoiler one part. Okay, it's not a major spoiler at all. It's just a funny bit. He is a very emo Bruce Wayne, a very emo Batman, because there's a scene with him and Alfred, and they're having this discussion. Alfred's like advising him, and he's like, "You're not my dad, Alfred," basically. And yeah, but I love it. But like, dude, like his Batman though, like, and the way he depicts his emotions through his eyes is really good. Like, they leave enough room there.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, I know this is kind of just a cosmetic. It is a cosmetic thing, but like his suit reminds me a lot of the Arkham look.
Yeah, from what I've seen of the suit, yeah.
You know, it's got the armor plating, but, you know, just the black and gray, the bat symbol, the, you know, long bat symbol, like the Arkham series. Like, I just love that. I mean,
Yeah.
And now there's things his Batman could improve on, but that's part of, like, the story, not his depiction.
Yeah.
But I would put it S tier, but I don't feel comfortable doing that without your consent.
Yeah, I trust you.
I mean,
But I haven't
you know
seen
what?
it yet.
Here's the deal. Wait, no, put Lego Batman back in B tier. Get out of here. But when you see it, I'll post our tier list. But if you see it and you're like, fuck no, it's not S tier, it sucks, then we'll lower it and I'll update the tier list.
Sounds good.
But to even be a little bit more fair, I'll put it below The Dark Knight for now. Because I want to see what you think.
Yeah.
Because you might still like The Dark... I mean, what is your favorite Batman movie, actually?
At the moment,
Because we haven't really answered that question.
It's The Dark Knight.
Dark Knight? Okay.
Yeah, it's...
Cool. Well, there's our Batman ranking. We've already gone a bit longer than we wanted to, but, you know, that's going to happen when we're talking about Batman. But we're doing good. But anyways, we will see you next episode for St. Patrick's Day. We're finally doing one, guys.
Yeah, we haven't done that yet.
And, yeah. I'm not going to give it away. Let's not break that illusion.
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know anything. Actually,
right.
You know a lot of things. And check out our link tree in the description below. And, you know, if you enjoy us and if I haven't insulted you enough, you know, you could give us a rating. That would be nice. That helps us out. If you enjoy us, if you like us, and if you don't like us, tell us why you don't like us.
Yeah.
I don't want to be one of those guys that's like, oh, give a 5-star rating. No, tell us the truth, man. I want to know what we're doing wrong. And if it's just an invalid comment, you know, we'll tell you to go F yourself.
Yeah.
You know what kind of people we are if you've been listening for a while. But yeah, check that out. Check out our Instagram, all that stuff. Follow, you know, all that, you know. Yeah, do that. But we will see you next week.
All right.
This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. The Odd Drunk Podcast recommends you follow their Instagram and join their Facebook group for more fun content. To visit all of our current streaming and social media platforms, visit the link tree in the description. If you enjoy the show, we would be appreciated it if you would leave a review on Apple Podcasts. The Odd Drunk Podcast would like to remind you to drink responsibly and not to drink and drive. Okay, Colton, you can roll the outro now.